No drunk drivers. So today, I figured I'll switch it up a little bit, because you always have to have balance in life. Always. So I'm going to elaborate on that photo I said I was going to talk about. It's the one where we were on those Segways, uploaded on Facebook maybe a month or two ago. So in that photo, it was taken during our honeymoon. We were in Cozumel. It was early morning. Let me backtrack a little bit more. So it was my first time on a cruise, and man, I didn't know you get all the food you can eat. You can sleep in as much as you want. Man, that was like paradise for us, because we like to sleep in. So we found ourselves eating and sleeping the entire time, or at least it felt like it. But that's what we wanted, though. It was all good, though. So, but we kind of talked about it and was like, man, we got to do something different. And we're about to land in Cozumel. After that, he's going to head back to Galveston. So I think it was late night, it was late night. We decided to go ahead and try to sign up. We saw these little pamphlets, and they have these things called excursions. So we was looking through. We went down there to the sign up place. We started looking through. Most of them things were sold out. So if anybody go on a cruise, try to plan it out. First day, you settle in, but if you want to do excursions, do it. Sign up ahead of time. If you wait till the last minute, it's gonna be hard. It's only so many slots. So yeah, just don't be like us. Don't wait till the last minute. But anyways, so we looking through the pamphlet, and I think we wanted to do those. It was 4-wheelers, but they were sold out, or maybe it was too early. That's another thing. We didn't like waking up early, so it was like, nah, I ain't waking up early. So we looking through. I think I forgot who pointed it out, and we saw the Segway, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's them little scooters. She didn't know what it was. I'm like, it's them little scooters. At that time, they were popular. So we looking through. Finally, we go ahead and make a decision. All right, we're gonna rock with the Segway excursion. So next morning, we get up, head down to the gathering spot, start going on. We meet up with the tour guide. Tour guide, he takes us to another area. So there, I'm thinking he's just gonna hand us the Segways, and then we go on about our business. So he has us waiting. Then he comes back with these boxes. So we're like, man, I didn't know what was in those boxes. So we looking, we got all scrummaging through. I'm looking, I'm like, okay, it's headgear. It's elbow pads, knee pads. I'm like, oh man. So that kind of signaled. I'm like, man, guess somebody must have got their head bust messing around with these things, because you had to get geared up to even ride on it. I think we even had to sign a waiver or something like that. But anyways, so we putting on our gear, and I'm looking at Shayla. I'm making sure she okay, because you know how the couples are, man. We feed off each other. Somebody not feeling good or irritated or whatever, the other person not gonna feel good, or they gonna be irritated. Y'all know how it is. So I'm looking, and so she putting on her gear, and she look at me. She like, I don't know about this, babe. So when she said that, I was like, oh man, here we go. Because if anybody knows Shayla, if she don't want to do something, she not going to do it. Simple as that. So when she said that, I was like, oh no, not today. Not on the honeymoon, no. So she's still, marching along, putting on the stuff. But I could tell she a little irritated. And I'm like, oh man, I know I'm going to hear about this later on. So she get on her gear, tour guide come back, and he's like, okay, he set up this practice course. So I go first, going through the little practice course, and I'm like, man, you got to be careful on these things. You shift your weight the wrong way, then, man, your feet will be all up in the air. Feet in the air, and that's the last thing you want. Feet in the air. So I had to be careful. So I'm like, okay, but after a while, you kind of get the hang of it. Go through a little obstacle course. So I'm like, okay, I'm all right, I'm all right. So then it was Shayla's turn. So she get on there. Man, she stiff. Ain't moving. I could tell she's stiff. So I'm looking, I'm like, man, she about to get on him. I'm like, let me. I was gonna try to help her out, but she ain't want no parts of that. So I backed off. I backed off. And so the tour guide, he was in there. So all right, yeah, go ahead, let him do his thing. Let him get some of them jabs. You know, I'm the tourist. So I'm trying to relax. Let you take some of that pain, that punishment. Nah, I'm just playing, you know, but y'all know how it is, you know, with couples. Y'all know them sometimes them words, they cut, boy. But so she going through, she's moving through the little obstacle course, you know, stiff. So I'm like, okay, she kind of getting it, you know, he coaching it through. So I think she opted to go one more time. So they going through it again. You know, I'm trying to encourage her, because, you know, everything riding on this excursion don't go right. Rest of the trip gonna be whack. So I'm like, no, man, you know, so it's a lot riding on this. It gotta be good. We gotta see this thing through. So she gets through. So he's like, okay, now we finna head off to one of the stops. So, you know, I go check on her. Hey, you good? You good? She's like, I'm okay. But it was one of those okays where, you know, she's just saying okay, like, man, she really wanted to say, get out of my face. So I can read that too, you know. So I backed off. And you don't want to impress too much. So we going to the, we moving through the city. So through the city, you know, all these curbs and all this stuff. And then we get on this road. And the road, it's not too much traffic. So I mean, in the back of my head, I'm like, man, we tourists, man. We out here like sitting ducks. I didn't too much like that. I'm like, man, I hope this dude he packing something, because, man, we just sitting out here. So that made me a little uncomfortable. So we moving along the road, it's straightaway. So, you know, I'm looking around, but every time I glance over at Shayla, she about 5 feet away from me. You know, we moving along. Look again, she about 10 feet away from me. Move along, she about 15 feet away from me. So I didn't know whether she was just irritated or just didn't know how to stop. So before you know it, she about 50 feet away from everybody, leading the pack. So and so much so, the dude was like, hey, miss, slow down, come back. So when he said that, I didn't know who he was talking to. So I look up, looking around, see Shayla, she way up there. So then I kind of, you know, speed up to try to catch her. So I finally catch up to her. I'm like, hey, babe, the tour guide say you're going too fast. Hey, yeah, he wants you to come back. You know, when she looked at me, she was smiling. So I was like, yeah, she enjoying herself. So I'm like, okay. So that really made me feel good. She had one of those smiles I could tell it wasn't fake. So, you know what I'm saying? It was one of those good smiles. So she so she started going back. She went back to the pack, slowed up. And then we get to this one of these stops. And there was this lady. And this lady, she's actually in the photo. If y'all look in the background, there's an elderly woman. And so we get to this little stop. And I remember it was like a sidewalk. And they had this fence. But this fence was real flimsy. Well, I didn't know it was flimsy until what happened next. So that lady, I see her on the sidewalk and she rocking back and forth. You know, I'm thinking she just grooving out or whatnot. And then I remember her, I remember the sound. And the best way I could describe it sound like Martin, you know, the show Martin, his mama. You know how she be, you know, something like that. And I remember that sound. So the picture is she rocking back and forth. And then she go, So if she started doing that, everybody, you know, of course everybody turns to her. And then I look again, she like at a 45-degree angle. And that's the last place last angle you want to be at. You know, you trust me, go look it up, 45-degree angle. You try to put yourself in a 45-degree angle and see how you end up. So I already knew she was about to bite that ground. So she's making these noises, oh, oh, 45-degree angle, and then she's on the fence. So now it kind of looked like, you know how Spider-Man be climbing the walls? So that's how she was. She was like Mama Payne Spider-Man. You know, she, and she on that fence, making all the noises and all that stuff, all dramatic. So she falls, boom. And Shayla gon', you know, everybody rushes to her, but then Shayla gonna look at me. Now, I knew what that meant, was that she wanted to laugh. But before she would laugh, she would look at me to see if I'm laughing. That way she can blame me for making her laugh. And so I'll be like, no, that's you. You the one laughing at that. Don't blame that on me. So, but we wasn't laughing at that moment, but afterwards, oh yeah, we was rolling. We was rolling. Yeah, the lady was okay. And Shayla, she, you know, we helping the lady up, everybody helping her up. And Shayla, she opted to tag along with her. At this point, you know, Shayla was, you know, doing little, I don't want to say little tricks on the thing, but she moving around, going in circles and doing all this stuff. So she was real comfortable in that Segway. So she opted to hang with that older lady just to make sure she was okay. If anybody know anything about Shayla, that's the type of person she was. She was always doing selfless acts. Always wanted to make sure everybody else was okay. So she riding with her, and so then we get to this other point. We get to this lake or this pond. You know, the guy, he giving us some history about the pond. You know, I ain't want to get too close because I ain't too fond with water. I knew that After I saw that, I knew you can slip off that Segway. That's the last place you want to be, is some water and you don't know what's in there. So I was making sure, don't you go over there now. I know you looking after that lady, but no, you ain't finna go in that water, because then I'm going to have to go in there and we both going to be in trouble. So we get back, finally make it back to our first point, or first stop, because we're going back in the other direction. You know, we finished the trip, and then, you know, Shayla kind of looks at me and she's like, you know, I apologize about earlier. You know, I was uncomfortable. And I'm like, nah, it's all right. But she's like, but I'm glad I did it, you know. And that was one thing that she always got a big boost of confidence and a certain amount of joy of every time she tackled her fear. So I didn't know that she was scared of those things or whatnot, but she you know, she was like, yeah, I was real uncomfortable. I was scared I was gonna fall off, all this stuff. I'm like, nah, you were doing your thing, you know, to the point you leading the pack, you know. So we was laughing about that, and but she really was happy with herself. And I'm like, I said, you look at me like, you know, because I don't be showing my emotions at times. I'm like, sure, I was scared the whole time we on the ship. She like, what you mean? I'm like, shit, I don't like all this water. I used to be scared to ride the ferry. And, you know, in Galveston, little ferry. You know, I grew up on Jaws. So anytime I'm near the ocean, I don't mess around with that ocean. That's Jaws, man. Somebody finna get me tore up with them sharks. So, you know, we kind of laughed at that. But, yeah, so that was just something I wanted to share with y'all. Give y'all a little insight on how Shayla, you know, her character, and giving y'all real life examples, you know. So when you hear people say, you know, she was always smiling and always wanted to help someone, that really was her. So hopefully you all enjoyed our memory. I got many more I'll be sharing with y'all. So peace.